Hello.
Hi, Brooke.
You're here on video today. Hello.
Hi. I
You
was at
feeling
Disney last
settled?
week. That's why I stayed off video.
Oh, it's good. Are you feeling settled?
I mean, as settled as you can be with still stuff everywhere, but we're
Well,
getting
you
there.
you got your lamps and everything behind you. Like you look like you got everything together. You got your crap together.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. This is the
You're like
one corner where it's together.
you're like I just settle in the corner where things
That's right.
are settled. Oh my goodness. Well, congrats. That's so exciting. So awesome.
Thank you.
Yay. Oh my goodness. I can't believe today is our second to last day. Feeling very bittersweet. Hope you all are feeling pumped and ready to take off and fly after next week. Um, we today are going to, will take you through a little kind of pie in the sky overview of foundations of a strong business and creating whatever it is you want to create moving forward. You'll have these business foundations with you for the rest of forever. And then we will also have a chance to have any feedback on images or Instagram or whatever you would like help with, because this is the last chance for that today, before we do our grand finale next week. But wanted to make sure that if you haven't watched Bridget's class and recording, that you do that at some point, because it's so good, so fire. She is making so much money and doing it in a very gorgeous and sustainable way, and I want that for everyone. So um, her slides are also in the Thinkific course access as well, so you can go back and take a look through those. Actually, I think that her questions that she asks on a sales call are like chef's kiss. Like they are I'm actually going to be using them now. I think they're better than mine. So I'm going to I'm going to use them because they're better. So a couple of the ones that she asks, I will quickly screen share with you so you can see them and get inspired. There we go. Okay, so these are the ones that she asks, and I think they are so brilliant. What's most important to you when it comes to this photo session? What's your dream outcome? How would it feel to have a beautiful photo where you love how you look and how it makes you feel with your family? I love that she puts this as like a singular photo too, because she is an example of someone who really like guides her clients to value each individual image, which I think is so key. And not only in making you a better photographer, thinking about each image individually versus a set, but also in thinking about how to guide them through the purchasing decisions. And in making more money, we always talk about how making money is all about creating value and communicating value. And so she does that super well by assigning value to each individual image, as opposed to like the shoot or the set of images. So she says, she also asks, once you have your portraits done, how do you plan to use them? Is this just for social sharing, or do you envision displaying these in your home as wall art or an album? I think this is a gorgeous question that I'm definitely planning to include to get people starting to think about how they envision experiencing these photos after all is said and done. Um, and she says that favorite clients have two common characteristics. They love the unposed and natural images. They hate traditional cookie cutter photos. If we were to shoot together, is there any reason you would not be on board with any of this? Like definitely getting them on the same page style wise up front. And then letting them know that they could find someone cheaper, and sort of like, why talk to me? And anytime you ask why in from a psychological perspective, it puts people on the defensive. And so this is their chance to defend their own decision to you, to themselves, like as to why they're talking to you. So I think these are amazing. So definitely check out these. She also has this on her website about, she puts in her entire process into the like contact form on her site, which I think is great. And like the session fee, the individual pricing, and her collections, the starting rate. And then about booking the sales call. So if you're just getting started, I would still, you can experiment with whether you want to put these numbers on your site or not. That's up to you. But if you're currently booking at a rate that you are okay with, then definitely put these on your site, and then you'll get more qualified leads through this contact form. But I wouldn't hesitate to take these off, to take the pricing off your site if you want to just get sales calls under your belt. And the way that she does it, with focusing on not having a minimum spend and letting people know that there's no pressure, that they are only invited to buy the images that they absolutely love. I think all of this is super brilliant. So definitely take a look back at her slides and at her call if you haven't had a chance to do that yet. As far as foundations for strong business, we'll go through some of those, and then we will open it up for our last and final image feedback and questions, and things that you would like some help with as we move forward. So when you're thinking about creating your business and those things that are really going to move the needle, like instead of just throwing spaghetti at the wall and just seeing what sticks, the foundations for business are these. Number one, people need to know, like, and trust you to do business with you. So most of your Instagram posts and things are going to be establishing that know, like, and trust factor. Same thing with your emails. And so to get people to know, like, and trust you, you can do that in a variety of ways. Sometimes people just do it solely through person-to-person, in-person interaction. And sometimes we do it online, but you certainly don't have to if you don't want to. And then also having a vehicle for sharing those messages of know, like, and trust factor. And the idea that we talked about shared values, that the strongest businesses are based on and built on shared values, not shared demographics. So it doesn't matter where your people shop, where they live necessarily, how much money they make, whatever, like none of that really matters. What matters is what they value. So the first thing that they're going to need to value is, of course, family photography. But beyond that, they can value any number of things that you also value. And when you're thinking about what shared values you want to build your business on, you definitely don't have to take all of your values and copy and paste those onto your business. You can cherry pick those and build the business based on certain values. So for me, it's been creativity, it's been vulnerability and authenticity, it's been emotion and expression, it's been individuality inside motherhood, and that sense of autonomy within the motherhood context. So all of those are shared values that I have built my business on. And you've seen that I've created many different offers throughout my time in business based on those values. And so whether it's like the retreat and mastermind that we're doing here, like those values are still in place that have called you forward into that. or it's like the podcast, like those values are still present, if that makes sense. So this doesn't come overnight, and I recommend just you can just start with that shared value of photography and all of the values that you infuse into your family photography. So maybe it's all those elements of family story. Those are values as well. So like mom being present and beautiful and central to the family story, mom being the hero, like that is not only an element of family story, that's a personal shared value that you can then write about, share about, infuse into your brand. So when in doubt, start with your elements of family story as your shared values for building your business. But again, those shared values can disseminate into many different offers throughout your business or other businesses that you decide to build if you decide to go that route in the future. Another foundation of a strong business is multiple streams of revenue, which we've talked about many times. So if you haven't been there yet through this time together, that's totally okay. And you will be able to set that up for yourself at any point that you desire. But to have multiple streams of revenue, I mean, I don't have to tell you why this is important. COVID illustrated that for us in spades. But it can be anything from a preset that you sell to a print shop, to print sales that you do for current clients throughout the year, that you have a Mother's Day sale, that you have a Father's Day sale, that you have a spring sale, that's prints and products. That's another stream of revenue than just shooting. It can be courses, it can be whatever you want it to be, but thinking in terms of multiple streams of revenue is going to set your business up for sustainability in the long run. Just so exciting and way more fun than trading dollars for hours and just feeling like, okay, I really need to make some money. Okay, I got to do 10 shoots right now, or as soon as possible, or as fast as possible, or as much as possible. So then there's the next sort of element of strong business is going to be some sort of communication with your audience and customers and customer care. So customer care process, like we've talked about how that is really about your creative presence and people being able to be part of your creative presence. And that's coupled with customer service, being able to connect with them in a way that makes sense and matters to them, with the sales call, with the shoot itself, with either a simple sales system on the back end or an in-person ordering appointment on Zoom, like Bridget employs so well. So many different mechanics of doing this, but the overall principle is connection with your audience, connection with your clients and customers. And those can be very similar and one and the same sometimes, and sometimes they're going to be different as far as like the back end customer side and the front facing audience side. So audience side is obviously going to be things like Instagram and weekly emails. We established that it is so crucial to have an email list and to email that list regularly, preferably once a week, and to have a freebie opt-in so that they're not just opting in for a newsletter, that they get something juicy on the other side of that email opt-in, whether that's a what to wear guide or a how to prepare for your session guide or a 5 free amazing video apps that you love, freebie like that. And then when you're establishing and continuing to establish that know, like, and trust factor and that audience side, there will be many times probably where you need to reach a wider audience. And if you feel like, okay, I'm doing these things consistently, I need to just reach more people. The biggest and best way that I love to do that is through partnering with people who have, number one, similar values and a bigger audience than me. So this can be influencers. It can also be publications. So we talked at length about submitting to publications and getting press and media and having that be the gift that keeps on giving to your business, because not only does it create social proof where people see, oh my goodness, she's been in Adorama, she's been featured in this place, or she was just featured by my local magazine or Instagram account or whatever. And this establishes you not only as an expert in your field and keeps you top of mind for people thinking about their own photography needs and desires, but also to grow your audience and get you in front of new people and get new people on your email list with that shirt tail that they have on those sites where you can put your bio and all of the things that you want to put in that little bio that they can sign up. But more than any of these sort of foundations, the biggest foundation that I hope that you have internalized is that emotional management is business management. Emotional management is creative management. Emotional management is everything. Because when you feel good, you feel aligned, you feel excited, you feel enthusiastic, you feel passionate, that has an incredible ripple effect throughout your whole business, art, everything that cannot be quantified and cannot be measured. I can give you steps A through Z, and if you do them with from a place of negative emotion, from a place of scarcity, fear, lack, whatever it is, are you going to have the same results that you would have if you had done steps A and B, just the first two little steps, with enthusiasm, passion, and joy? No. So emotion is everything. When you feel in negative emotion, when you feel like you're dreading something, you're afraid, you're in scarcity or just burnout, those are red flags. That number one, you need to maybe generate some of your own inspiration, which we talked about doing at length, and feeding and nurturing that that artist's heart that is fingerprint unique and completely your own. That's the one thing that cannot be outsourced. Everything else really can be. So when we're thinking about moving forward with our businesses, moving forward with photography in general, moving forward with art, I hope that you take this piece away, that if you can manage these emotions that will always come up, they always do, especially when we're going to outside our comfort zone, outside our current level and trying to up level, like the brain immediately is like, no, and I will give you 100 excellent reasons why. If you can just open and allow space for that to be there and not get lost in that storyline, that would be the biggest gift I could give you, because you would be able to be so resilient, so aligned and in tune with the real version of you. The real version of you that knows what she's capable of, that knows what is meant to flow through you, that knows that it's not about you, that knows that it's really about the lives that you can touch through what you can create. So that's sort of the like ethereal, zoomed out version of business and art foundations that I hope that you take moving forward. And now I would love to open it for you to have some image feedback if you haven't had some in a while, for your last chance, last call for image feedback, last call for burning questions or things that you're working on that we can still support you with today. Oh, my water's out. Who's got something?
I have not something like that, but I just wanted to say that I had my I made those submissions back long ago, and I said that one had been accepted, and so it was published this last week on the Fount Collective, their blog. And then also I submitted something to the Kindred Path and also to Belle Lumiere magazine, and they both want to do blog posts about it too. So
Yay! So you're 3 for 3.
yeah,
Amazing. This is
Yeah.
such great news. Congrats.
Thank
So
you.
good.
just wanted
And
to share.
also, this is a sign that you need to play bigger. Let's get you some rejections under your belt.
Yeah.
Seriously. But these are some great wins. We can celebrate the wins too. That's
Thank you.
awesome. 3 for 3. So exciting. Amazing. Congrats. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Natasha, I see that you've got a gallery for us to go through. Nice.
Yeah, this is one I just did like 2 weeks ago, I guess.
Oh, nice. So how did you feel?
I felt like it went really well. So this was a newborn session that got delayed and delayed and delayed. And the baby was 6 months old.
Oh my gosh.
There was like
Aw.
COVID and they had some family stuff. And anyway, so
Aww. Aww. What a cute little baby. Like this one is just, oh yeah, it's everything. So sweet. Aw, beautiful. Yeah, these black and white ones with them to get like clean on this clean wall, I'm just living for that. Um, yeah, I definitely like personal preference love and prefer these ones where you've gotten like a more clean backdrop. Either it's this blanket, this bed, or this wall, and you've just like focused in on the emotions. Um, those to me are more successful than say like the ones here that have more going on in the background. And if you're trying to create variety, like I think that you're posing her here because you're trying to use the space that you're given, right? Um, like I think it works here, but as soon as you get close in, then we're focused on like the frame and the tree and all that. So if this was my pose and I was shooting them here, like you've got this nice window light coming in, I would shoot this photo, like this is so great as an environmental photo. And then if I wanted to get in close, I would have dad get in super close and I would just get in so tight that you don't even see the background of that picture frame and the fiddle leaf and all that. Like close all the gaps, close all the little holes where you could potentially see this like the background stuff. Same thing with these here. Like if you're doing an environmental something and then you want to get in close, I would just be cautious of like your lines and how things are changing once you change your angle, because I'm assuming that you've set some of these up as more of an environmental thing and like a more pulled back setup that you wanted to do, like this one with him at the crib. Like this is so great, but like to me there's like not a whole lot else that I would do right here. Like I would probably do this, and you did the thing with the mirror and that was great, but I would probably move away from this setup like pretty quickly. Whereas like right here with this crib, I feel that you're trying to maximize each setup, which is great. But there's also like room to be like, okay, I got that, and now I'm gonna move on, or I'm gonna stay here for an obscene amount of time. Remember at the retreat how I stayed in certain areas for so long. And so like this crib and stuff, like sometimes maybe they want that more, like they want, them with the crib and that kind of thing. But I would encourage you to just try getting out of there a little bit earlier in each scene and not be afraid to stay in the scenes that you're more drawn to. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, they really wanted pictures in the nursery. So that's why, and I probably could have gotten 3 and then I got what they wanted and exited sort of thing. So yeah, no, I
Yeah.
totally agree.
Okay. Where's this wall set up? That's what I want to know.
So that was in their living room. There was like space between where their sofa was and there was a bay window, but the bay window looked out onto cars. It was not a pretty view behind it. So, but they had nothing on the wall. So it was kind of perfect. And I discovered this was at the very end of the session.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So,
Natasha, I think you do so well in each environment. Like I think you find so many different scenes really nicely. And so I think that's something that you're going to automatically do. So I'm wondering if it might help for you to focus on um, like pushing yourself to find more clean backdrops that you would want to shoot against like earlier in the session so you could play with that a little bit more. And like this window, I'm like, why didn't we shoot against this window more? This is gorgeous.
mhm.
So why didn't we shoot against this window more?
I don't know. I don't know. I did like 3 or 4 pictures against it and I didn't even get the 3 of them against it and I should have because it was great. There was nothing behind it. So,
Yeah. So just take this as like a moment of like, okay, like to me we just have too many scenes actually, I think. And I mean, I shouldn't say too many scenes because if you are someone who can just like move from place to place and feel with a baby, like maybe it's easier and you want to move more often. But like we have couch, we have this bed, we have this blanket, we have this like outside. Is this outside? Maybe. No.
no, it was another bay window, but again, it was their patio behind it with like tons of furniture. That's why they're all
Okay.
black and white.
Yeah.
It was super distracting, but they loved that nook. So,
Oh, okay. So I would actually probably position them closer here to this curtain so that you
mhm.
get more curtain as your background instead of patio furniture, patio view. Um, and again, when they request something, like do it and you're the expert. So just be like, yes, and it's amazing, and we got it, and we're moving on.
We're moving on. Okay.
Yeah. But these are great. Like these black and white ones, oh my gosh, I just keep coming back to those over and over because they're so juicy and delicious. With these, where you're like also at an angle, um, and you have like windows and where the wall meets the ceiling and you have this headboard, just be cautious of how all those lines are interacting. Because this is a sweet
Mhm.
moment, but because we have so many lines everywhere, this would be so strong if we cut all this top off and this side as well. And we didn't have
Yeah.
all of those elements competing. Same thing here. You know what I'm gonna say on this scene.
I do. It bothered me actually too.
Yeah,
But I didn't
so
get that many pictures of dad and baby, so I needed to include
got
those
it.
because there
Got
weren't
it.
that many.
Yeah.
But
Well, that
otherwise,
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that's cool. Um, and then like the one other thing that I would wonder about is if you could maybe take a second look at like this editing. Some of your images seem to go more high contrast, and so I'm assuming that that's what you like more. And this one is a lot lower contrast. So if this were my image, I would probably bump up the curves and like play with the curves a little bit, deepen those shadows a bit more, and definitely just make it lighter. That would just be my personal preference and my way of doing it. But then this like navy couch setup, it doesn't seem like there was as much light. Like it looks like there's only one light source over here. And that because of that, we're sort of in shadow.
mhm.
So you were much more successful when you got on this striped blanket, and I think that was a lot stronger. So it's so good to have these moments where you can look back at a gallery and be like, okay, for next time, I'm gonna move on faster from those scenes that they request, that I can do them quickly and just keep going. I'm gonna I also am curious about like where your story of family is in these.
Yeah, so some of them definitely, the ones with mom,
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like are more my story of family. And then the ones at the very end against that blank wall, I definitely
Mm-hmm.
feel more of that. Some of
Yeah.
these were just, cute baby pictures.
Well, yeah, so then there's the question of like, what is that in the story of family? Is it like the fleeting moments and like how fast they grow, that kind of thing? Like, because even that's definitely an element of family story that deserves airtime. So like include that in your family story of family, and then you're not going to be feeling like you're just doing these as like obligatory shots, that you're going to like find so much meaning and cuteness. And you are, I can tell that you are, and that you do. So let's just like add that formally into the story of family, and then I think that will help color it a little more rich for you as you're shooting it.
Yeah,
These are pretty though, so pretty. Thank you for sharing. Cool. Who else?
So I have someone who wants to do my shapy posing colorful shoot.
Nice. Shapy posing for the win.
Yeah, so I'm trying not to overcomplicate it. She's going out of town in July, so I think I'm just going to try to do it before the end of the month.
Cool.
And
love
I think
it.
her daughter wants to do it too. Her daughter's like, I think she's like 11, so we'll see.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna make it like a mother-daughter thing. We'll see. I'm just gonna be like, whatevs, let's just try it.
Cool.
So I haven't really thought about how we're gonna do it, but I think we'll just pick a date. And
Nice.
I got a flash, which I hadn't had for my camera, so I may experiment with that a little bit with it.
Cool. What's the do you have the inspiration images that we could take a look and maybe reverse engineer a little bit?
I do. There's some that would probably work more than others, but yeah, I can, because some of them are definitely more about the clothes. And so it's going to be sort of figuring out how to make it translate a little bit when you're not showing off a particular like fabulous outfit.
Ah, gotcha.
Which we might be able to pull together. I don't know what she's going to have, but I don't have the clothing for it. I'm just trying to think of ones that I kind of liked.
Do you want us to come back to you? We can go to Kelly and come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. All right, Kelly, you're up. Let's see if I can copy and paste this, if it will let me do that.
Did that work?
Yeah. Oh.
Password is ranch.
Ranch dressing. Just kidding. I know it's way classier than that.
Just didn't have enough characters for the dressing part.
See, Kelly, like your brand is like all luxury and like so like light and bright and airy, and I love that so much, but I really want you to bring in like how hilarious you are into your brand. Like you need like a silly stories series or something
You know,
like
I did it. I did yesterday in my stories. I shared my office, my desk that just looks like, I mean, it would horrify lots of people. It's a situation over here.
Love it. Oh
I don't know
yes.
if you can see this, if my camera's on.
It's freezing a little bit, but we can see.
Anyway,
Oh,
I talked a little bit about, yeah. Okay,
I
so
love
with
it.
this session, I have not done maternity much. And so this was like, this was a model call because you know I do my best work on model calls. And I just wanted to try a lot of things. So I kind of just want feedback on like what is successful and what is, I mean, I kind of know some of the things I'm drawn to, but I experimented a lot with basically like copying poses a lot, like studying poses and then implementing. And so I'm kind of curious for your feedback that I value on what translated and maybe what didn't.
Cool. Yeah, no, I think you've nailed it here. Like these are all, you've posed her super flatteringly, especially when she's standing. I think you're really excelling in that. The only ones that I feel maybe could use a couple tweaks would be like these sitting ones.
Okay.
So like right here, it just doesn't, it didn't quite go. Whereas over here, where did you go? This one.
Yeah.
Where you're shooting her straight on and you see like the over and under
It's
moment way better than at an angle. If she was like and then again with the lying down ones, like those worked a lot better. If she's just sitting there and her hand is under the bust line, you're gonna need like a little more definition.
Okay.
And
that's probably the same thing for that second photo then too, right? Because it's the
yeah, I always prefer, well, not always, but I usually, if it's going to be one hand, I prefer it under the bust line rather than under the belly.
Okay.
Because if it's under the belly, then it just becomes a little awkward, especially if she's sitting. Like she's carrying this really well. She was a great muse for you, obviously. But as a pose, I probably wouldn't repeat this.
Okay.
I would, yeah, if she's only able to put one hand on the belly, I choose under the bust line every time.
Okay.
But like this laying down one is really beautiful.
I was curious about that because it felt super awkward in real life.
Yeah, it always does.
And I didn't know, like, I mean, basically that was just me studying like where should her head be and everything. So I didn't know if I'm bringing those emotions to the final image and seeing it and knowing how challenging it was to get there. Or
no.
if it, okay.
No, you're not. And so like I think the biggest danger is like you getting in your own head about like, oh man, I'm having to noodle through this and like adjust and figure this out for a long time. But to know that you are getting the final result. So
something that I've used that I love that I picked up from you, because I can be pretty wordy, right? But you were just like, I know. And you were like, feels awkward, looks awesome, you know.
Yes.
It's like super, super quick. And so I have started to use that more where just very short, like feels awkward, promise it looks okay, you know.
Yes. Yep. Feels weird, looks good. Yep, that's what I say all the time. So that's great. So, and I'm glad that you're playing with different angles because you can see from these two which one clearly works better. It's this one. Because you're at a slightly up, your angle is slightly higher. And so you're able to see, number one, her face. You've focused on her face too, which I think is more successful because we can still see like the implication of the belly. Like we get it. But there's also this lovely like diagonal line happening with her body. Like her legs are going this way off the frame, which is so flattering and beautiful. Whereas right here, like because we have more bed frame, then it just didn't work quite as well. But these are nitpicky, and I think this is what you want. Oh, but see,
Yes.
look here. Like, look how much more flattering this is here
Yeah.
than this here.
Yeah.
So I think part of this too is going to be a process of trusting yourself. Like, I think you already know which ones work better. So we can talk about why,
Okay.
but there's also this aspect of like just being a stronger culler,
Mhm.
and culling out this one, that are fine, that are good. But
Okay.
like, let's make way for the great ones. Like if we just had this one, this one, this one, this one, like the strongest of the strong, then
Right.
that's a completely different.
I know I did duplicate some because they were filmed, and it's like so hard for me to trash a film photo. But I got to.
Wait, which ones?
Not of the first set,
Oh.
but like down low, there's one up. No, go back up. She's in the blue dress and she's sitting on the bed. No, it's above that because it's the all blue dress. A little more. That one all the way to the left right there. That's not a great picture.
Right,
I
but
don't
you took
think.
it on film, so you
But
wanted
I took
to
it on
keep
film, so I kept it. Yeah. And I should have gotten rid of it. Yeah.
You're right. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like this works just stunningly well because you can
Yeah.
see his face and her face and the belly.
Mhm.
Whereas right here, like, what is he holding on to? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
You can see
wall.
like he's like
Mhm.
squatting down a little
Yes.
bit.
Okay.
And this is a case of like, it felt awkward, looked amazing right here, but it
Yeah.
felt awkward, looked awkward for
Looked
him.
awkward.
She's
Okay.
still carrying it. She's looking fabulous, but
Yeah.
right here is like this timeless, amazing, they're gonna cherish that forever type of image,
Okay.
which is
This is
fab.
good because I'm getting ready to send this out to them too. So I just wanted.
Yeah, so you can lose this wall one.
Okay. Yeah.
These ones with the motion, so pretty, and I think are beautiful. I would also recommend, like with motion,
Mm-hmm.
that you have her not only shake her dress, but
Mhm.
actually step forward,
Okay.
because that lends, because right now I can tell that her weight is on her back foot and that you've told her to put her leg forward.
Okay. Yes.
So it just feels like a real moment when she actually does take a step.
Okay.
And I would choose this one over this one because she's leaning
Yeah.
back a little bit more here. We get more neck here.
I think it's because that black and white one was filmed, so I like kept it.
You
But
gotta let go. You gotta
Yeah.
let go.
yeah, and see, like these two below, this is a film and digital. It's the exact same shot. So
These two?
yeah,
Well, look at you matching film and digital. Boom.
yeah.
Fabulous. I actually would lose both of these if I were you, because
Oh,
her head and this mirror.
Oh,
If you're ever unsure, like a squint test can sometimes help. Like, oh, where does my eye go? My eye has to go to this mirror because it's such a contrast from this white,
right.
all white scene that's happening here.
Okay.
And we also don't even see, like, if I have to choose, I'm choosing this one because I can see a little bit more of her face. We don't see
Right.
her eye here, but it's too
Okay.
far back to be about the belly.
Okay.
Same thing here. I would take the time to adjust that hair. Or if the hair is all the way over the eye, that could be cool too. It just needs to be one or the other.
Okay.
This is great. Just like attend to this tiny corner here.
Okay.
This is fabulous. I already told you how much I like this one. I think you really excel in these, like, if we have a plain white wall, some people are going to be like, that gives me hives. I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You are like, you're going to pose them to perfection and it's going to be fabulous and emotional. So trust yourself on those like really clean backdrops that you're going to still make something interesting happen, because not everybody can do that.
Okay. Thank you.
And so I feel like maybe you're sort of trying to get variety by being in these other ways of the room and things like that. And
I mean, this is my room, so I could just take that mirror off the wall.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, that's my studio.
Cool. Cool.
I think I just love shooting that direction because I like how the light hits. And
Mhm.
so,
Like how it's hitting her profile. Yeah, it's really pretty. But I would actually probably take all this stuff off the nightstand for that
Okay.
reason, knowing that you like to shoot at this angle. If you like to shoot at this angle, yes, it makes sense to have everything be symmetrical and
Okay.
balanced that way. But if you know you're liking this angle more, nix all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I were you, I would probably focus on like let's not try to make your weaknesses your strengths. Like let's just make your strengths blow up exponentially. So
Okay.
like finding some things that you like to, the other worry that I have for you, Kelly, is that
Mhm.
you might reinvent the wheel every time you're shooting in this room.
Mhm.
And I would love to see you have like your go-to process that
Okay.
you do for the first like 15, 20 minutes of a shoot. And then let's sprinkle in some extra like new stuff at the
Okay.
end or at the beginning or the middle, whatever. But like let's have something. Let's not have a blank page every time, a blank like we need to reinvent the wheel every time.
Yeah. I do that with my newborns. Like I have a pretty good flow.
Nice.
That's kind of boring, and then I can experiment. I think with this one, I did overshoot a lot and try a lot of things just because this was
Yeah.
only maybe the third maternity shoot that I've done, and so I just wanted to try a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
But I could get better at culling.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. But like, also want to point out that there's an underlying assumption here from you, Kelly, that like, because this is only the third maternity shoot that you've done, that you're somehow not going to be good at it unless you like really study and deconstruct and like kind of micromanage it.
Mm-hmm.
But like, are we ready to put that behind us? Because these are proof that you are like, that's done. That's good. Like,
Yeah.
I would encourage you to be like, I have already figured out how to shoot maternity. I know how to shoot maternity. And like, just own that. Because you clearly do. We're making little tiny tweaks, but that element of like being tempted to reinvent the wheel or being tempted to be like, this is only my fourth, at your next shoot, this is only my fourth maternity shirt. I only had 4 maternity shirts probably for my last baby. 3 of those were my husband's. If you continue that though, like if you continue that mentality of like, I'm sort of new at this, like I don't think that's going to serve you. I think that you like just owning how freaking good you are is only going to help you like impact more people, make more money, reach more gorgeous mamas that need your magic.
Thank you. So I was really pleased with it. So it'll help me moving forward, I think.
Totally.
Okay.
So yeah, I think all these work really well. Just maybe choosing between some of these more similar ones would be helpful. And then when she's in motion, if you want to still see that she's pregnant when they're walking away, you can have her turn over her shoulder to you, and then you can get like a side angle.
Okay. Turn in towards him or
either way, but probably out towards you is going to get a better angle on the belly, because if she turns towards him, you might be able to see a hint of it, but their hands are going to be in the way.
Yep.
But you could always just see that. Like, I always just love to see how people move naturally, especially when they're walking and I tell them to like turn in towards each other and snuggle, or when I say stop, then turn in and hug, or turn in and like wrap your arm around her. And just see how they naturally do it, because 9 times out of 10, that's going to be great anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Or at the very least, that's going to give you a jumping off point to say like, yes, do it exactly that way, but just tweak this, put your head here, tweak this thing there.
One small change. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I feel like these flowers worked best in moments like this.
Yeah.
Where it's not like so
Over.
on the belly, so on the nose, like right here, it's a little on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Same with here. It just my other worry with you, Kelly, is that you're just so good at making a perfect image that
Mm-hmm.
you'll be too afraid to get like the most full images.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
the technical term.
Yeah. Messy.
Yeah, like
I
you.
did do a double exposure. That turned out pretty cool.
Yeah,
I thought.
yeah, I'm digging it. So let's do 5 more next time. You know, like instead of taking like 5 of these shots, which we already
Right.
have,
Yeah.
like let's release that and know that you're going to get that. That's what I mean when I'm saying like you need to just know that you have it. Like you can get one of those shots if you want it or they want it. And then like let's focus all your creative energy on this type of thing or
Okay.
like, you know, the emotion type of thing
Right.
that you want to, that's where you want to go.
That's great. I think that's one reason I am trying to do more film is just I can shoot forever on digital and keep doing it. Film's helpful for that for me.
Oh, good. Nice. Because there is an element to film where sometimes you get a little too precious about it. Like you're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to cost me money. Like it has to be perfect.
Yeah.
So maybe you get your perfect stuff on digital and you're like feeling more free on film. I don't know. That's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you is great. But yeah, like also I would save these as like tone reference images too
Okay.
for when you outsource your editing
Right.
and
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
But yeah, I think also like this hand on the back thing worked really well for her.
Okay.
Her like playing with her hair. If
Mhm.
she was turned a little bit more to the side, I think that would help even more.
Okay.
But yeah, all these are like super flattering and really lovely. Yeah, it's great.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you submit these somewhere?
No.
All right, cool. You got another thing to submit.
Okay. I will.
Let's
Thank you
milk-
for your
like, when you-
encouragement.
Yes, when you do a model call, like milk these, milk them for all they're worth. Like, let's not let them die here.
Okay.
Yay!
you.
Big congrats too. I didn't mean to like dampen the awesomeness of the 3 for 3 success by saying you should play bigger. I just hope that that inspires you to like
Yeah.
keep
I think
keep
you speak
rocket
to
fuel going.
you speak to what I need to hear, and a fear of failure definitely holds me back. So submitting something bigger or less sure is good.
Yeah. Well, I just want you to get a rejection so that you can realize like that you're going to be not only fine but like 100% better for it.
Yeah.
Because like those have honestly been, you guys, some of my proudest moments of my entire career is when crap hits the fan, when things do not work, when it is sucking and I'm still standing and I'm still there. Like, I don't know if there's a more powerful feeling. Like, I love the highlight reel success moments. I love those like moments where I'm like, oh my goodness, I just made the sale and I was playing with my kids. I didn't have to do a single thing. This was so awesome. I love those moments. But even more than that, I love the moments when I get to see what I'm made of. When I get to see how freaking powerful I truly am. Those are the moments of the juice.
Yeah.
All right.
Strength
Amen.
revealers.
What was that?
I said strength revealers, you know?
Nice.
Right.
Nice. Okay. Let's look at this Liz's inspo. And then we can see. Okay, let's see. Okay, cool. Yeah. Like a, yes. This is definitely about clothes. I see what you mean. Let's see if I can resume share. How do I get back to your chat? Come back. Come back.
The thing that I like about this is I felt like I can do a little video with it because they're kind of just moving around, which is
Yeah.
interesting. So I was like, I feel like I could just do clips and they could be like self-contained.
Cool. Yeah. I want you to do some stuff in front of the mirror, Liz, with these like shapes ideas?
You mean with me making them and
Yeah.
sort of, yeah, I've been, yes, I have been like, oh, how would I, and it's really interesting because you have to really like believe it. Like there's a certain amount
Yeah.
of like presence you have to have, and you can't be like, oh, I don't know how this, like you can't have that awkward look on your face where you're like,
Yep.
am I doing it? Because you really
Mhm.
have to kind of sell it
Yeah.
with like super
Yeah.
strong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to practice for sure. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah. So that the woman that you have who wants to do it, do you know her? Does she have that?
Yeah, she does. I mean, she's interesting. Like I've seen some photos of her, and definitely I feel like she has a certain amount of confidence. Her daughter, I'm not sure, but her daughter is really interesting and does like dance and stuff. So I'm like, oh, it could be kind of fun. Like she
Cool.
could do some dancey type things.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I love
but
that you're just going for this and you're not overthinking it because you are just gonna sorry, you're gonna find ways to play. Like you're gonna be like, okay, we're gonna put on this music, and for the duration of the song, like you guys are just gonna move together in this particular light. And you might shout out like little tweaks to them as they're moving. And like 11-year-old girl might do some dance moves. Mom might just like do some arm stuff. Like you're gonna tell them to keep it moving. Whatever they have to do to keep it moving is all good. Yeah, don't overthink it. Just try it and have fun. That'll be great.
totally. And I mean, I like the idea of the beach, but I may just do it, at her house or something, and just like find a wall and do it there first so that we're not like worrying about there's people around and all
Oh,
this stuff.
yeah.
So we'll see. And then I can do it again. I mean, I have ideas of other people who might want to do it. So I think we can just try it. And I told her, I was like, we don't have to show anybody. It's totally fine. Like, we'll just see what they look like. Right. And I think she's
Yeah.
up for that.
Cool.
So we'll see. But yeah, my one thing is the clothes. And hopefully she has some like fabulous, colorful clothes that they could do. Or like you said, like maybe just like some silk scarf or something that we can just sort of play with the idea of shapes
Mhm.
with that. Because I
Yeah.
feel like the one thing about these is the clothes are so kind of shapy and cool that it's,
Central to the image. Yeah.
yeah, that they really kind of anchor what they're
Mhm.
doing in the image. And if you're just
Yeah.
wearing like whatevs, then
Yeah. Yeah. No, she definitely can't be wearing whatevs, but this could be easier than you think. Like, I'm sure that either you have something that you think would be cool to shoot. Like, I've brought so many of my own clothes on shoots, like little wraps and just like whatever to play with. Or it could even just be like a fabulous necklace or so, like great earrings or that you have or find at the thrift store or something. Or that you invest like, $30 in some awesome earrings that you then like. I would also pay attention. This sounds so creepy, but you all know what I'm talking about, and this will only stay in this room of photographers, and you'll be the ones who get it. But like there are certain parts of people that are like so beautiful and sexy and inspiring, right? Like it might be like her jawline and like her collarbone that you're like, oh yeah, that's like it sounds so creepy, but you get it. Like that, like you want a fabulous necklace to kind of like zero in on those compositions and shapes and like that sort of moment of like a mouth and a jawline and a this and a that, or like maybe it's the way that she tilts her head or like something like that. So I would approach this as if you were a stylist, and maybe you can just bring like a bunch of jewelry, a bunch of whatever, and just like use her as your little like grown up paper doll.
I think that's a great idea. Cause I do think it's like all these different little sculptural elements.
Yeah.
Like she's even done some where they're like holding artwork or they're next to artwork. Like it is really about like there's all these shapes going on. And so it is like the shape of your neck and the shape of the earrings and the way the necklace makes the shape and the way that the clothes make the shape. And then they're sort of like participating in all of that shapiness.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great idea. I think that'd be really fun. And like it can just be whatever. Like I feel like some of it is like they could be like 80s thrift store earrings that
Yeah,
are
totally.
like
Cool.
whatever. So
Yeah, and with the flash and stuff, this is gonna be a fun experiment. It's gonna be fun to play. I'm excited for you. Keep us updated. All right, my friends, I will see you next week for our grand finale. It's going to be a party, and it will also be able to set the tone for you to rocket fuel moving forward. I can't wait. Keep us posted in the group. Anything else that you need. Big hugs. Bye.